Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Guiding Keys. No, wait a minute. This isn't Matrix. That's right. What's going on, everybody? This is DJ PRS, and welcome to a new episode of the Guiding Keys podcast. This is a very special episode because this is the OG episode in the sense of the three of us are the original members of the modding part of the Keyblade Forge, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So we definitely, of course, got Master Matrix here.
What the fuck?
That was for stealing my intro.
And then we have the one, the only, the Keyblade modder himself, Dolan 1016.
Yo, what's up?
So, I think at this point now I'm going to take it over to the Matrix, but before we do that, quick word from our sponsors. The Keyblade Forge website and the merch store has been booming, so congratulations to that, you guys. If you want to get your merchandise, definitely head over to the KeyBladeForge.com and grab your phone cases, and your phone cases.
Among other things.
And your Among Us shirt.
And your Among Us shirt. Definitely. It's Sussy Winter is among us. Haha. And definitely want to keep nice and warm. So, Matrix, I definitely want you to kind of start us off with the whole modpack situation, because if it wasn't for you making the server, none of this would have happened. So I want you to recollect exactly how you think it started and then how we tied into it.
All right, I guess I could tell the story then of kind of the origins of the Keyblade Forge and how this all came to be. So, originally speaking, when I made the Keyblade Forge server, I was actually just looking for Keyblade artists, such as myself, to kind of help me with a project that I was working on. Well, shortly after I made the server, DJ here actually approached me looking for commissions for Keyblade art because he was trying to work on a mod pack for Kingdom Hearts 2 that he was working on with, who was it again?
It was a mixture of people, but it was made by the founders of the OpenKH server, as well as the creative aspect of Henikage and Flarespire, who's also in the server.
Okay. Yeah, so he came to me originally wanting to commission a Keyblade design from me for the Kingdom Hearts 2 mod pack that he was working on called Kingdom Hearts 2 DJ PRS Mix. So I designed the Keyblade for him. It's called Goemon's Embrace. We can put it up on the screen for you if you're watching this on YouTube. It's a Keyblade design based on the character Yusuke from Persona 5. Kind of loosely based. It's mostly based on Yusuke from Persona 5, but I took a little bit of liberties because it's supposed to be for a original character named Roku.
Correct.
Who's kind of he's a Ronin type character, kind of based on the same ideas that Yusuke is based on. So I designed the Keyblade kind of based on Yusuke's weapon, based on Goemon, his persona, and kind of put like a little bit of like a watercolor aesthetic onto it, just to kind of make it look like it was a paintbrush thing. Anyway, so fast forward a few months after I've designed Goemon's Embrace, and I saw that DJ had gotten it modded into Kingdom Hearts 2. I think the model was done by Flarespire, right?
Correct. The original rigging of it.
Yeah. So then DJ wanted to do a Kingdom Hearts 3 mod in a similar vein to the Kingdom Hearts 2 one right after it was finished. That was when DJ met Dolan.
Yeah.
Because Dolan was starting Keyblade modeling for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so DJ kind of contacted Dolan to ask him to do another model of the Goemon's Embrace Keyblade that I did. Then he and Dolan kind of got talking about developing this mod pack further, and that's kind of where I got brought back in to do some more Keyblade designs. And then eventually it kind of grew. I started doing some other graphic design for the project as well, like some of the HUD layouts, some of the loading screens, the title screen logo, that kind of stuff. And that eventually grew into our first major mod pack release, which was Project Forge, aka Kingdom Hearts 3 DJ PRS Mix. And yeah,
Yeah, so he's dead on. So I'll take over. So when I finished the Kingdom Hearts 2 version, what ended up happening was Kingdom Hearts 3 was just being announced to come out on the Epic Game Store. And I was like, okay, cool. So now, I definitely knew that the Kingdom Hearts community was going to now branch out to the PC versions of them through EGS. And I randomly saw somebody from a different server that I was in share Dahlon's work from Twitter. And it was the Digimon. It was the Greymon and the Grurmon gauntlets. And I was like, yo.
Wait, though, that one's not mine.
No?
No, that one's not. Maybe it was like
you shared it. You shared it. That's what it was. You shared it on Twitter. And I was like, oh, people are already modding this. I was like, okay. And then that's when I found your stuff on Nexus. And I was like, oh, I need to DM this dude. And then you made the tweet like, I have like 5 slots available. And then you were upgrading your price sheet because people were already just blowing up your shit. And I was like, okay, cool. This is dope. I said, yo, how much for this? And he gave me the price. And at that time, it was still towards like the end of the pandemic. So I was like, bro, I got money to spend. I work from home. I ain't got no bills, no gas, no nothing. So like here. And I was showcasing it in the Forge. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is awesome. And me and Latrix were like, yo, we need him in the server. Just to showcase the work. And then if people wanted to commission him, like he has a full, like he could just like, I made the joke like it was like Final Fantasy 14 where you just go to the server, like to the hub, and there's a shop right there that you get your Keyblades here, like here you go. And he was already flooded with work. So once things started working well and dying down, I was like, yo, I want to remake this mod pack. And at the beginning, it was Latrix making the Keyblades, Dahlon taking the models from certain different things to work on it, and then we had somebody else who used to go by Ditz. What does she go by now?
Neo.
Yeah, and she was also another really big modder and graphic designer for Kingdom Hearts mods, and she ended up doing all of the rework for the colors, all the form changes, and the three of us, the three of them just went to town on it, which then, thanks to Dahlon, I got to meet a couple more people. Shout out to Kyrie for video editing, a couple of his other people just from the community, and then I had my original modder from Kingdom Hearts 2 help out with the like the color scheme, because he did everything on like C++, because he had because for PS2 modding it's a lot like simpler, but then now everybody has like Unreal Engine and everybody's working on this. He's like, dude, I don't know how to mess with this. I just know how to do color scheme through decimals. And I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, I gotta say, the official time that we started to the time that we ended was about what, almost 2 years?
Because I was still in college when we started.
Well, we started in September 21, I think.
That's when my son was born, correct?
So it was like a year and a half, roughly, because it was at the beginning of this year we released it, right?
I think
I can pull the mod page up.
Yeah, I'm about to do that right now. I have it bookmarked.
Yeah, February 6th was the original upload. So yeah, roughly a year and a half.
About roughly a year and a half, yeah. It seemed like it was so long, but that's because the longer that we took, the more Dahlon learned how to do things.
Yeah. Well, and the more just in general stuff was discovered. Like when we started, I couldn't do the keychains for Keyblades.
Yeah, you couldn't do the keychains.
Was it? It was a few months into the development of it where like people figured out how to do the keychains.
I think so. I think the first one you did was my Ultima weapon.
It was, yeah. I think it was in December of that year that came out.
And then nobody knew how to do title screens except for just like a handful of people until that became public knowledge. and then also adding like the shine texture, like you mastered that a lot better.
Yeah.
And then like the flowing of animations on certain keyblades, like the magma and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and like the transformation models.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and then weren't you able to get because originally when we had these form changes, they didn't work properly with the summon and desummon animations. I think they fixed that.
Yes, I think a lot of the ones in it as of right now, I didn't update them, but we have an update planned where I can fix all that. So
we do, because there's still a few HUDs that needed to be finished that I think Chappie is working on.
Yeah, shout out to Chappie on that one. But still no magic. So in the comment section of YouTube, put hashtag Where's Magic. Let's get the OpenKH people to kind of break that down, because there's only 2 people that I personally know in that server that know how to alternate magic and add different magic, but they still can't change the color, which is wild. Like there's people who have Sora learning how to do Young Xehanort's.
Yeah, I will say I kind of know like how you would approach it. I think the problem is that any kind of particle effects have like a million different color values. And either A, they would be really tedious to change, and B, sometimes it just doesn't work changing them in the first place for no particular reason. So it's like
probably a rendering thing.
Yeah. In Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts 2 mod pack, I was told specifically that you cannot change fire and you cannot change magnet.
Okay, so I can tell you why fire doesn't work.
Yeah, because it's a universal code. So that means that if I were to change my fire to blue, Axel's fire would be blue, any fire in the background would be blue, and then it would be too much for it to render and it would crash.
Well, that's not the only reason. The fire in 2.5 is actually, well, I don't know if you're modding in 2.5 or if you're modding 2FM original on an PSX.
PSX was 2FM.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the original mod pack was because it was before the games came out on PC, right?
Okay, because I was gonna say 2.5. The fire texture is actually bugged. Well, if you ever noticed that the fire texture for Hades and Sephiroth has like black in it, like when they do like their fire pillars and stuff.
I never really paid attention, but
it does in 2.5. That's actually a visual bug.
Oh, nice.
it's a problem with the rendering engine that they use. The thing is that it ended up just looking so cool that they just never changed it back.
Nice.
Yeah, when Garnet had to fight Sephiroth for something and the pillars came up, we could see that it was like clipping through, and he was like, I've never seen this before. I was like, that's because you never fight Sephiroth. I'm like, this has been out since day one.
Yeah, well, at least on 2.5. I think in original 2 and 2FM it wasn't like that.
No.
I think it was an issue when they were upscaling the rendering to HD. It messed up with the render engine that they were using.
But to follow up, so as we were starting this project, this was also during the time of the Kingdom Hearts anniversary, and it just so happened that Dahlin was given a chance to showcase some of his work thanks to Latrix. How do I want to say this nicely? When he sets his mind to do something, it has to get done right away. So that's how I jumble my words when I said Bicentennial Trace, right? Bicentennial Trace was born. Which started a whole slew of other Keyblades being made, also being made into this mod pack. So we took a break from Project Forge to work on it because it was a time sensitive thing. But
because we wanted to get it out at least version 1 before the 20th anniversary actually happened.
But it was a blessing because at that point, big Kingdom Hearts YouTubers had their eyes on Dahlin and Latrix just on the Twitter sphere. Back when it was Twitter, in the Twitter sphere, and all their artwork was being showcased. They were in YouTube videos, mod showcase collections, which means that now any project that Dahlin was working on, immediate eyes were like, what is Dahlin dropping next?
Yeah, and I mean, I want to give huge shout out again to Jared or Gamers Joint or Cynical or whatever you want to call him, for covering almost the entirety of Vicenial Trace's development cycle. We did not ask him to do that. he kind of just did.
Didn't that other man? It shows how much my brain knows, like from the Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 3 community. Didn't Skyward Ring also do it as well?
I don't think he covered Vicenial Trace, but I know
he did cover a couple of my mods.
Okay.
Like the Keykeeper Keyblades. I know Bio did a showcase on version 5.0.
Yes, at March Caprice. Or no, it wasn't March Caprice.
No.
It was a live stream.
It was just a live stream.
I remember because I wanted to be part of it, but I was at work.
Yeah. And then, I mean, speaking of Gamers Joint, kind of looping back toward Project Forge, I know he plans to cover it at some point, but obviously he has his whole hiatus stuff going on. But he did shout it out in his, like, I think it was like top 10 KH3 mods or something like that.
Because he was showcasing VT, and then he said also Dallin worked on this. I plan to look at this soon. Yeah, that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Vicenial Trace that took off way further than I think any of us were expecting it to.
Today, I will say today, as the day we're recording this video, it hit 13,000 downloads.
Let's go, baby!
All right, that's insane.
Yeah.
By the way, we'll go ahead and leave links to all of these mod packs on Nexus in the description for y'all if any of y'all want to check any of them out.
Always. And thanks to Donlin and what he does too is any mod pack that he works on, he also, depending on creators' request, he'll do individual links to certain Keyblades as well. Not almost all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know in DJ PRS makes Project Forge, I think all of the Keyblades are available as individual downloads, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Roxas, that is a stick.
You want to talk about joke Keyblades? Let me have to talk about the absolute torture that you put me through.
Hey, I think that's what the second most downloaded individual Keyblade is. It's the Spam Blade.
Well, we'll throw it up on the screen too, but this man put a gun to my head and forced me to design a Keyblade based on spam.
Because if anybody knows, especially if you were born and raised in the hood, if you didn't have certain things to open things with, a good old spam key will open any door in your life. But you know, to kind of wrap this up, Project Forge took about a year and a half. It is still one of the greatest achievements that the Keyblade Forge has done, as it was its first ever project done. But thanks to the community that we have and the amazing Keyblade artists, graphic designers, modders that we have in here, we're going, what, like 300 strong? How many members are here now?
There's over 500.
Over 500.
Yeah, so 500 plus strong, the mixture of content creators, lore makers, artists, etc. We also decided to make a mod pack that was specifically from the Forge by the Forge, which is called Reforged. And I was able to have Goemon's Embrace also be in there as one of Replica's Keyblade, right?
Yeah, it goes over the Soul Eater sword. Yeah. So that is more of a Dallin and Latrix project. I was just blessed to be part of it. So Dallin, take it away, buddy. Yeah. So I mean, we showed it off, like fully revealed it earlier this year for March Caprice, and I don't know if we'll have this episode out before next March Caprice, but we are planning another showcase for March Caprice 4. But yeah, basically though, the idea behind it was just replace every single weapon in the game with something designed by people in the Keyblade Forge.
Yeah, so Reforged is definitely our largest project because it literally aims to replace every single Keyblade in the game. It's absolutely massive. It's still in development. It's nowhere really close to being done yet. But I'm lucky enough to get a couple of my my personal designs in there as well. None of them are Sora's Keyblades, but I know my my Fractured Soul Keyblade is on Xehanort's No Name.
So I want to state this real quick before lecture goes on. All of our mods that we do for the community are all cosmetic. Nothing super game breaking. Nothing that will like change movesets or whatever for Sora or any of the characters for Remind. Because I did see in some comments in my trailers, they were like, "Oh, well, won't this crash XYZ?" No, unless there was like a bug fix or something that Dolan had to do that makes you re-download the mod pack. Nothing should break the game. But if you start adding it with other mods, then yes, that does cause a problem because it overlaps certain things. So just a quick disclaimer on that.
Yeah, I mean, our stuff should be compatible with most of like the gameplay tweak mods. Like, I don't think it's going to be an issue. It's just anything that also overwrites Keyblade models might have a conflict with our stuff. But anything that, if you're just using like gameplay overhaul mods, moveset changes, or model swaps or character swaps, it should work.
Yeah, the only ones that I know that it does break, and that's because I like to test things out. If you play the full Riku mod, what's the name of that project? Project Light something? No.
Project Equinox.
Yeah, if you try with Project Equinox, it does crash. And that's because the way how they did the certain form changes, the form changes weren't working with that. I couldn't open certain chests. But then again, at that time when I did it, it was just fresh and new. So don't hold me onto that, but I do know like
there's always weird things with different mods meshing together. It happens, but
if you put a little bit too much peanut butter in your peanut butter and jelly, things tend to get a little bit sticky. But but I do want to talk about certain Keyblades that we did make in the mod packs for both. We did an April Fool's joke 2 years ago, going on almost 2 years ago, where we did NFTs for the Keyblades. Yes, and we call them NFTs. That caused a shit show for a bit, but it was still funny enough that we kept some of them and we put them in the mod pack. We have also,
which, by the way, a sticker sheet of all of the Kingdom Hearts 3 NFTs is available on the Keyblade Forge merch store.
Let's go. We've also done the Spam Blade. We've had our Keyblade contest where the winners have had their Keyblades in there. Prime example.
Yeah, actually, because I wanted to mention one of the Keyblades in Project Forge is Phoenix Heart.
Yeah.
Which was designed by Finn.
Yeah.
Yes. And
one of our usual hosts.
Yep, everybody knows the nice, beautiful bomb head man himself, Finn. We've also had Garnets. Oh god, what's the name of that one?
Lost in Phantasm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
this man likes his long keyblades.
Yeah. We do have some Keyblades from one of the OG members, Susia. His stuff is in there. Like literally anybody that you have seen post Keyblades in the past 2 years on Twitter, like their stuff, 90% chance they are in Reforged.
Yeah, there's a pretty good chance. But speaking of Keyblades that are actually in Reforged and Project Forge, DJ PRS Mix, our first project, our mascot blade, Forging Flame.
Forging Flame, let's go, baby.
Yeah, I actually wanted to, because that Keyblade was actually DJ's idea.
Yes.
He came up with the suggestion that we should have our own like branded Keyblade for the Keyblade Forge specifically, and I came up with the design of Forging Flames with the whole idea of like a unrefined, kind of untreated metal handle that's kind of still in the process of being, crafted with then kind of a molten, almost glowing hot metal blade, just to kind of represent like a Keyblade mid-forge.
Yeah.
But
it took Dallin a good amount of time to get the molten going through it, but it took the time it took was so clean though. It was so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have our mascot in both projects, which is Kubo Burst.
Another creation of Finn's.
Our unofficial mascot.
Might as well be official at this point. Yeah.
So that was awesome. We have a lot of stuff in the mod packs, but I want to address this to the two wonderful people in here. I'm completely going to stun lock them with this. We need more. We have grown so much as a community, and we have 3 different channels in this server that showcases redoing the Keyblades that we did from years ago, to different adaptations and alterations of them, plus also awakening forms. We need to do more, but I feel like after Reforged is done, we need to maybe, I don't know, I'm just shooting this out here, maybe do a Kickstarter.
For another mod pack?
Another mod pack, another big community mod pack that we can commission artists, commission the people that do put their stuff into, because I paid solely for Project Forge, and then Reforged is a free community-based one just from inside the server. But I think the third one should be an overall Kingdom Hearts community one that also maybe contact their previous podcast guests, maybe reach out to the ones that have worked on the Keyblade contest and come up with something for Universal Blades. We have our amazing and our wonderful unofficial Keyblade mod pack editor for trailers, Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can commission her, and for that stuff, because I say this because I'm, me, this is not my only drug, right? Kingdom Hearts is not my only addiction. My other addiction is just mod packs for different games and different communities. And the Pokemon community, they have the content creators to do the ciphers and the movies and the mod packs, and the community helps fund that to make it this big, huge project that people talk about for years on out. And that's because they want to, they see how much time it takes modders to get their stuff done, editors to work on their things, because all 3 of us have 9 to 5s. It wasn't until Latrix was out of college where he's like, hey man, I gotta get a job now. I got stuff to do. So it's gonna take a while. And then all these other opportunities came up, and Latrix was like, hey, listen, I really don't have time for it, but I'm gonna do it because it's for the community. I think personally, someone as the outside looking in, yes, shout outs are awesome, but that also costs you time and money. Because there are some sleepless nights. There are some times where you work your shift and you don't want to work on a Keyblade, but you have to because you have an obligation. You should get reconciled for that.
Well, I don't have a problem with.
Well, no, of course,
potentially starting a Kickstarter for another project. In fact, I think there are some ideas I've already now got floating around of all right, if we're gonna do a big thing, I'd want to get custom music composed.
Exactly, and we would have money for that because that'll be part of the funding. If we can be hey, this is going towards XYZ 1, 2, 3, and then just like how Kickstarters do, you update them yo, thank you for paying for this. This is exactly how much is going towards this composer. Shout out this composer. This artwork, this outfit is being made by such and such. Shout out their channels. Like, prime example, every time I had an outfit made for the trios, I showcased it to my Twitter, to my Instagram, as well as the server, and I was like, look at what did it. Look how awesome she made this. And everybody's like, oh my god, I want this. Well, guess what? Now for the next mod pack, we can do that. You know, everybody has personal lives. Everybody, you know, can't drop. Quick sidebar. We had a private conversation about 2 days ago about a situation like this. You cannot drop your life to work on Kingdom Hearts. You can't. Unless you're Nomura himself and his team, you cannot drop your life to work on a Disney Square Enix game. You can't. But if you're being financially compensated, you put not your priority, but you put majority of your time into working on it because you still have a life. You need a life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the one thing that when we were doing Project Forge, Latrix will tell me like, hey, I got this coming up, I won't be able to work. Darlin's like, hey, the holidays, I'm going out of state, I won't be here. All right, bet. Then we had breaks into our project. Mind you, some of the breaks were a little bit too long because then you get home and you're comfy and you're doing this. But there's times where it's like, hey, where's the checkup? How is this going? Can I get an update? Da-da-da. And that's okay to do because you are working on it. But now when we have this Kickstarter, we have a full fan base to be like, thank you so much. We are taking a month break because we have some other stuff that we need to work on. We will update you on the next one. And the way how Darlin does his stuff, anytime he's done with something, he sends us a video, a screenshot, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do the same thing. I try to keep people up to date on what I'm working on. It's just, I have no issue with doing another project after Project 4, after Reforged. In fact, I'm sure we probably will.
He's like, wait, what? he's like, I want to work on Mario Odyssey modding. No.
But I just, I want to keep expectations in mind that I am somebody that does have a lot on his plate. I don't even know, how much time I'll be able to have to dedicate to working on mods in the future. I mean, I had a lot more time back when I was in college.
Which is why I said we have to agree, because you're not the only Keyblade you're not the only Keyblade designer that can make, I'm gonna use the word, serendipitous Keyblades in superfluous amounts of them.
I have slowed down significantly.
But like I said, we have Exusia, we have Finn, we have Garnet, we have Saku. Like, we have a lot of people. And this last Keyblade contest, which will be on the channel before the holidays. So many people, so many amazing Keyblades. The only thing is we only have, besides Flair, because I know Flair likes to really work on their own blades, but we only really have Darlin to make them come to life, because he's the only one in the community that like really, really works on them like that. So if we have to outsource, then that means that we have to do outsourced pricing. So
that is definitely something to consider in the future, whatever that project ends up being. I know my mental focus is all like Reforged almost entirely right now.
Yeah. So anybody that has watched this far, comment down below. What do you think? Because we're not going to do anything without your acknowledgement. Because we've already worked on 2 massive projects. We've done 3 side projects. Darlin has taken on the 4th one, doing the randomizer Keyblade. So like things like that have already been in the works. But I think because of how big we've grown and how fast we're expanding, I think that would be good to kind of like boost our workflow, but also just a breath of fresh air. Because I pay attention to tweets and stuff like that, and then it's like, oh, I really like this. Can you do this? Can you do that? Commissions aren't open. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. But if we can still take that collective mindset when the time comes, which might be like a year or so from now, that'll be good to keep in the back of our minds and be like, oh, such and such already requested this, and we're already like working on it. So shout outs to this person, and they didn't even have to pay, and their Keyblade's already in it. You know, stuff like that.
I think the only thing is that I don't know where I'll be, wherever, whatever it's like. But at least at the time of this conversation, I can't really think of what else we could do other than like maybe doing custom music, custom character models,
custom music. Hopefully within that time there'll be some more breakthroughs on modding, rigging.
I'm really hopeful that by the time we're done with Reforged completely, Kingdom Hearts 4 will be out and we can start thinking about modding that game.
That's true. We've been talking about it, getting intro stuff in there, getting changing the back, adding more stuff to the loading screens, changing the gummy phone the way how it looks.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a thing in Reforged, I think.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like anything that we've already done plus more.
Yeah.
And then circle trademark.
Actually, you know what? I was gonna say, Darling, if you've got that model for the Gummy Phone X, I could do a custom design if you want to import that into Project Forge for like the next update.
Oh, yeah, potentially, yeah.
You're gonna have the Gummy Phone X Pro Max,
You know what I mean?
5th generation.
Obviously, of course, I could do it. I could put that up on the store too. So
yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that this is something that could be really dope. And I've been thinking about it for a while, but I know that we were working on this episode, and the only way for us to really crowdsource it is for the audience to actually hear it and say yay or nay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against the idea. It's gonna be a while probably.
Yeah.
Listen.
Well, who knows how big the forge will be by the time we get to any potential idea past that.
Man, if we hit over 1K by then, and then it's like, here's all of our Keyblades, blah, we're like, okay, you know what? Project canceled, money refunded. Let's wait till 4.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully 4 will be out by the time we have 1,000 people.
At that point, Don said, F it, I'm gonna start modding Melody and Memory. Changing music notes. But I also want to know, circling back to the other projects, Don, since you are the bread and butter of most of this because you do computer good, how do you feel when your mods blow up like that?
Honestly, I still don't have a way to articulate how I feel. It's crazy. For one, I started modding KH3. Literally, the reason I learned how to do it was because I wanted to put my own Keyblade in the game. And
so
I didn't
passion
even know
project turned monarchy. Awesome.
But I didn't even know how to 3D model at the time. I had a Keyblade model from my friend John or Redraw. He's the one doing the KH2 Unreal Engine remake project. What?
That's your homie?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, snap! Okay, cool. Yeah, I know him.
No, yeah. But he literally 5 years ago at this point, he was doing 3D modeling commissions, and I'm like, oh, I have this Keyblade that I drew, and I thought it'd be cool to get a model of that. And I had that just sitting on my computer ever since, and then they announced that the Kingdom Hearts games were coming to PC, and I'm like, I want to put this in the Kingdom Hearts 3. That would be really freaking cool. And it took a freaking long time. I mean, it took a few weeks, which felt like an eternity, for me to figure out how to do it, because the modding scene for Kingdom Hearts was brand new. Well, I mean, obviously there was the KH2 emulated mods before that, but that was a relatively small scene compared to what it is now.
Tell me about it.
Well, that was
Cave 3
before-
especially was
That was before the randomizer came out too, right?
Yeah.
or at least to the extent that it is.
When I started the Kingdom Hearts 2 mod pack, the randomizer was still in its beta phase in the sense of it was open source, so you could anybody could play it, but it was still super buggy. It didn't have the website it did now. I mean, it didn't have its own program it does now. At that time, they were doing an XYZ website that would still crash, and some of the seeds were just unplayable. And the one guy, Valaxor, shout out to Valaxor. People were paying him through Patreon to keep the website open because it was that serious at that time. Mm-hmm. So for Dawn to be starting around that time when there was literally nobody doing anything yet, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, so I actually learned 3D modeling for modding. My first 3D model I ever made was HMK's Keyblade, Hectic Eternity, who we had him in on was it the last episode we recorded, right?
I think so.
Yeah, but by the time this episode comes out, the previous episode, we had HMK in here. That's cool. But yeah, and then I made the rest of the Keykeepers Keyblades, and by that point, I made one for Jared, and then I was like, I can open commissions, and then that's how I met DJ, and yeah.
The giant chicken leg.
The turkey leg.
The giant turkey leg. That's right.
And then he met me through DJ. So, and that's sort of he came into the Keyblade Forge, and then I think it was because we were doing. I think it was the second Keyblade contest.
Yes, the one where I was outside. Yes.
Yeah, it was the second Keyblade contest that Dallin sort of became a moderator and one of the head members of the server.
Mm-hmm. One of the original coat wearers.
But
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, so me and Dallin come from two different. It's the sports spectrum, right? Two different spectrums of the Kingdom Hearts gaming community. As I was part of the speedrunning and PCSX2 community for Kingdom Hearts, while it looks like Dallin and Latrix were part of the more content creation side.
Well, actually, my story is very uneventful. I'll let y'all go first, and then I'll just tell you.
I was gonna say because you knew Prodigy, you knew of Prodigy and Bio and them, right?
Well, okay, so I knew Prodigy and Bio because I was part of Bio's Cheer Thief for Charity stream a couple of years back during the pandemic.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it is the same spectrum. Perfect. Okay, so I knew certain content creators like Ninten, Bloody Biscuit, and Biscuit from the speedrunning side of Kingdom Hearts. They speedran Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and then they also did Chain of Memories and stuff. But then I also knew people like Violent Gamer and a couple of others from just the Twitch community. It wasn't until I was here where Dallin was like, oh, and of course I knew Jared, but I knew Jared from when I was a kid watching him play Jack and Dexter and Call of Duty videos. So even way before the Kingdom Hearts stuff started. So when Dallin came in, and then when when the server first started and all that, people were like Damo, Bio, and Prodigy, and I'm like, the fuck are these people? Oh my god, what is going on? And I'm going through these lists of people, and then Dallin's like, hey, I made Keyblades for the key. What is it?
Keykeepers.
Yeah, the Keykeepers. And I'm like, who are these people? There's a cult? What is going on? And they're like, no, it's a whole content creation community. I'm like, dude, Kingdom Hearts, like when I say Kingdom Hearts is separated but together, that's what I mean. Because I'm talking about Nintendo and all them, and Dallin's like, who? I'm like, bruh, how do you not know such a? And then he's like, I know these people, and then I'm like, who? So it's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely like different like subsets of the Kingdom Hearts community.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and what's funny because Dalin's also a speedrunner. So when I'm like, wait, how do you not know these? And he's like, well, I don't speedrun Kingdom Hearts, I speedrun Mario. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then it's funny because one of the big Kingdom Hearts content creators and speedrunners also does Mario too, and that's Spike Vegeta. So it was one of those things where it's like, oh, Spike knows, and then all these other speedruns, and then that's how I was like, oh, me and Dalin both know Smallin, and we know Point Crow. And so then we were able to kind of connect through that non-Kingdom Hearts wise. I was like, okay, cool. Because
doesn't Violin do Mario speedrunning too? I know he did a speedrun of Mario Wonder.
yes, he's taking a step back from Kingdom Hearts to do Mario stuff now. But that's the thing, because like when we work in these mod packs, not everything has to be Kingdom Hearts business. There needs to be some sort of like rapport or relationship in order for this to work out. Because if it doesn't, then it's like, okay, cool, mod pack's done, we shake hands and we leave. And that's what happened in the Kingdom Hearts 2 mod pack community. And I was like, nah, I need the homies on this one. So I just like how it's full circle from content creation to speed running to mod pack, that we were all able to connect in some certain way in this.
Yeah.
But I still don't know who the hell the key keepers are. I need to know about them.
Bro.
I need to spend time. I need to spend time.
We had one of them in last week's episode, so you can get caught up.
Zelda guy. Okay.
Yeah,
I love Versus 13.
True.
Well, no, I guess this gives me a chance to kind of talk about my start in the Kingdom Hearts community, since y'all both kind of talked about yours. But I mean, honestly, mine's not anywhere near as interesting. What really happened was I was a kid in middle school and high school who just discovered Kingdom Hearts. I got really into it, and I started kind of writing my own little Kingdom Hearts stories with my own characters, and I wanted to create my own Keyblades for those characters. I would draw, and then I would draw more, and then I would draw more, and then I would draw more and more and more, to the point where if you look at any of my school papers from middle through high school, there's probably more sketches on those pages than there is actual work. And most of them are Keyblades.
Oh, I was gonna say, were you drawing big angry man with scar on face since middle school?
Latrix actually came about when I was in middle school, but it wasn't the old man. It was younger Latrix. He became old man Latrix around when I was in high school.
Hey, grumpy boy turns into grumpy man.
He wasn't grumpy, and he wasn't edgy at the time. Well, he was edgy, but a different kind of edgy. He was like Shadow the Hedgehog edgy.
Oh my god, so much edge.
I was in middle school. You can't blame me for being cringe. No. So I was designing Keyblades, and I kept designing Keyblades more and more and more. And then as I got into high school, and it was kind of like, oh, hey, what do you want to do, with your life? I started being like, well, I really like computers, and technology, and I really like drawing. So what if I draw on the computer? Oh, wait, that's graphic design. And so I'm like, okay, let me get into graphic design. And then I started, drawing the Keyblades that I had drawn on paper on the computer. And then I would probably spend the majority of my time in any of my computer classes drawing Keyblades instead of doing my work. Still pass all my classes, don't worry.
I want to be a Keyblade wielder.
But I had a file, because I actually draw all of my Keyblades in Adobe Animate, which is funny because that's like an animation program, not an art program, and I draw all of my Keyblades in it. Because it was like the first, because I was taking an animation class in high school, and it was like the first program that I learned, and it was just sort of like, well, this is it, is what I know, I'm gonna just do that, and I kind of never moved on. And at this point, it's like I know how to use like Illustrator and Photoshop and all that, but like I'm so used to how Animate works that I'm just like, it would be more complicated for me to like switch my whole workflow into another program, so I might as well just stay on Animate to make Keyblades.
And
I still
meanwhile,
do.
so Latrix draws, Dalin models, and I chill. TLDR if you want to get that at, because I can't do a freaking thing. My stick figures have no necks, and all of my Super Saiyans have one arm bigger than the other.
Well, what you have is ideas.
Yeah, I have.
You can't discount being the idea person. You're the one that had the idea for Project Forge. You're the one that had the idea for the Keyblades that go in Project Forge. I just made them happen. And then Dalin made my art happen.
So it's a line. I like that.
I mean, yeah, I just don't discount being the idea person. But no, I mean, literally all I did was I just drew and designed Keyblades on my computer. And I wasn't even like really doing anything. And then I was just like, for the longest time, I never posted any of my Keyblades. I didn't post any of them online. So I was like, I'm just doing these for myself and for my friends, for our little story. And I was finally just like, I'm just going to post these. And then they didn't go anywhere because I posted them on Reddit.
Oh, yeah, that could be a thing.
And no one cared. I posted them all in like one gallery on Reddit, and no one cared. So
it went into the void.
Pretty much. But anyway, so then I just, I had a Twitter, but I like never used it. And then I just kind of got on Twitter, and I just started kind of reposting the stuff that I had made on Twitter. And then as I kept working on Keyblades, eventually I would redesign some of the older ones, and update them, and then I'd post those to Twitter. And people just kind of started noticing them, and I'm like, oh, okay. So what ended up happening then was the story that my friends and I were working on, the Kingdom Hearts story, which started as just a few friends just kind of having fun, wanting to pass the time after school, basically turned into we're telling a full-on narrative. Well, we came to an ending, and then I turned to my friends and I said, y'all are gonna hate me.
Everybody died.
No, because I had an idea for an entirely new story.
Oh, hell no. But you know what?
It was really funny because I was like, y'all are going to hate me. And the very first thing, they were like, nope, not doing it. And then I was like, hear me out. They were like, no. And I said, hear me out harder. No, but quieter this time. And then it started. But then I was like, I'm going to do Keyblades based on all the tarot cards. All of them. And then
that was a good project.
And then I was like, that's going to take forever. Especially when I decided I wanted to do upright and reverse versions of every Keyblade, and I'm like, that is 44 Keyblades. Hell no. I am not doing that by myself. So at that point, I had gotten just enough of a following on Twitter, thanks to being part of Bio's Charity for Charity stream, just because he noticed some of my art. I was like, oh, hey, I'm doing this, like, charity stream, do you want to, like, do art for it? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, I just kind of went to some of the Keyblade artists that I knew from, like, Twitter and DeviantArt, and I just kind of shot them a message like, hey, I'm making a Discord server for Keyblade designers, because I'm working on a project and I can't do it alone. Do you want in? And thence the Keyblade Forge was born, and it is from very humble origins.
And with that sounds like a perfect way to go back to the full circle of how everything became to today. So that's dope. I actually like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, it just...
So we thank Reddit.
Well, no, we don't thank Reddit.
We thank Reddit for them not doing their job, because if it wasn't for that, then you had to go somewhere else.
We thank Elon Musk for changing Twitter to X so that which gained us like 200 members.
Thank you, Elon Musk.
All because I made a stupid joke about everybody changed their profile picture to Organization 13 vote.
There's still people with the same fucking image as their profile picture.
Fucking Garnet still has it.
Dude, like half of my notifications are still from people with black votes. I'm like, why have you not changed back?
Master, what do we do now?
Do you know how many of them have said, I'm not changing it back until they change it back to Twitter? And I'm like, then you're never changing it back. And they're like, then I'm never changing it back.
Holy shit. Alrighty, well, I think that sums everything up pretty well. Though I want to leave the viewers with one last question. What would you do if you had enough money to make your own custom Keyblade? Just comment it down below. We're trying to get some interaction here. And tell us, have you played the mod packs? Have you enjoyed them? If so, which one do you like more with the Keyblades, or do you like the simplicity or the more complex? I'm DJ PRS. That's Latrix and Dolan.
Yeah.
Latrix, do your thing, man.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Don't forget, may your
You
heart...
gotta say the thing, yeah.
Everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. May your heart be your guiding key.
Your guiding key.
Kirthi, take it away.
Bye, everybody.
Dun da da da! Hi there! It's your trusty Chirithy, here to remind you to like, comment, and share this podcast with all your friends. Please remember to subscribe to the Keyblade Forge, join the Discord server, and visit the merch store at www.keybladeforge.com. Don't forget, your friends are your power, so make sure to pass this along. Until next time, may your heart be your guiding key.